There are moments in the history of science when silence speaks louder than any explosion. This is one of those moments. It wasn't an asteroid, a dying star, or a newly formed galaxy that set off the alarm, it was silence itself. The James Webb Space Telescope, orbiting 1,000,000 miles from Earth and peering deeper into the universe than any previous human-made instrument, was observing a region of space once believed to be completely empty, a lifeless void between galaxies, simply a blank spot on the cosmic map. But what it discovered shattered that belief. In the quietest part of the cosmos, the telescope detected a shadow that neither emitted nor reflected light. Instead, it consumed it. Then something even stranger occurred, that darkness moved slowly, deliberately, as if aware it was being observed. What the telescope recorded next compelled a team of astrophysicists, cosmologists, and mathematicians to completely rethink existing models of reality. Because this was not a comet, not a pulsar, not a black hole. It was something else entirely. Something that thinks, something that responds, and perhaps even something that remembers. This is the story of what the James Webb has just uncovered in the depths of space, an object so unnerving in its behavior, so alien in its physics, that scientists have begun quietly entertaining the unthinkable. What if it doesn't originate from our universe at all? It all started during a deep field survey near the Eridanus supervoid, a vast and almost mythical area of space known for its mysterious cold spots and an unusually sparse population of galaxies. While calibrating infrared sensors for a galaxy mapping mission, the James Webb Telescope detected an anomaly that was too perfectly symmetrical to be natural, yet too chaotic to be artificial. Instead of distant galaxies or clouds of interstellar gas, the telescope observed a flawless circle of silence. No light escaped from it. No light bent around it. This wasn't gravitational lensing, it was more like a tear in the fabric of the universe itself. Imagine dropping ink into a glass of still water, but instead of the ink spreading, the water disappears. That's what the data revealed, a region not only empty of matter but seemingly devoid of physical laws. Initial hypotheses suggested it could be a previously unknown type of black hole. However, mass calculations did not align. There were no X-ray emissions, no gravitational waves, just a cold, dark area of complete stillness that defied explanation. Over the following days, the boundary of the object began to fluctuate, not like a celestial body orbiting, but more like something breathing. Scientists from several institutions began examining the light echoes surrounding the anomaly. What they found was more unsettling than any black hole or supernova could be. The flickers of distorted light emanating from the object were not random. They followed a precise sequence of intervals corresponding to prime numbers, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. It was as if the object was not merely existing, but actively signaling. But signaling to whom or what? Even more intriguing, this signal was not electromagnetic. It was not radio, infrared, gamma rays, or any known wave. It was a disturbance in spacetime itself. The Webb's most sensitive gyroscopes detected microscopic shifts coinciding with each signal pulse, as if something was subtly manipulating the very structure of reality. It didn't just violate astrophysical laws, it mocked them. Mathematicians were called in. Quantum physicists meticulously studied the data. The verdict was clear, these were not natural pulses, but unmistakable marks of intent. No known celestial body behaves this way, not quasars, not dark matter clusters, not even rogue planets. The precision was surgical, the rhythm unmistakably artificial. Some now believe this might not be a signal from a living entity, but from something conscious. In a follow-up observation conducted exactly 27 days after the initial detection, the James Webb team recorded a displacement. The object, previously believed to be stationary, had shifted, not through space, but across dimensions. It didn't drift like a comet or accelerate like a spacecraft. Instead, it flickered like a strobe light from one position to another, as if it were skipping across the fabric of the cosmos rather than moving through it. It reappeared just 0.004 degrees away from its original location, a difference imperceptible to the human eye but devastating to scientists' calculations. Because if something can relocate without leaving a trail, it implies it is not limited by the speed of light. It suggests it is not bound by time. The only known analogy for such behavior exists in quantum theory, entangled particles that respond instantly across vast distances. But this wasn't a subatomic particle, it was a structure the size of a small moon acting as if the laws of classical physics were mere suggestions. When astrophysicists simulated its movement, they discovered something even more unsettling. The pattern of its reappearances formed a spiral directed inward toward Earth. By the fourth month of analysis, the team was no longer asking whether the object posed a danger. Instead, they questioned whether it was sentient. Geometric patterns around the anomaly began to stabilize into fractal formations, self-replicating shapes reminiscent of biological systems. Not like bones or organs, but like neural pathways. The longer the telescope observed, the more these patterns evolved, adapting to the sensor's orientation and adjusting themselves in real time, almost as if they were responding to being watched. Scientists coined a chilling term for this phenomenon: responsive geometry. Some speculated the object might be a kind of dimensional antenna, or worse, a living entity designed not to travel, but to anchor itself in place, waiting for something. An AI model trained to recognize alien patterns crashed when analyzing the telescope's data. It froze, looped, and finally returned a single word in its error log: recognized. The message was clear, though no one dared speak it aloud: this wasn't a discovery, it was a response. After weeks of gathering more data, the Webb team noticed a curious phenomenon, not in the object itself, but in the surrounding field. A subtle shift in background radiation began to emerge, initially almost imperceptible. Unlike the cosmic microwave background or localized radiation bursts from stars, this signal was oddly synchronized with the object's pulses, but delayed, as if it were an echo. Spectral analysis revealed something chilling: the signal contained harmonic layers that shouldn't exist naturally. Frequencies were arranged not by random emission but in nested intervals reminiscent of musical chords. Some scientists called it the song of the void, while others were less poetic. They insisted such a signal was nearly impossible to generate without a deliberate mechanism, an engineered pattern rather than a chaotic stellar process. More disturbingly, the waveform harmonics were unstable, reacting subtly to the Webb telescope's positional changes. This led to a terrifying hypothesis: the signal wasn't passive. It was interactive. It was observing, measuring, and responding, as if the object was not just transmitting, but listening. Amid growing unease behind the scenes, a team of theoretical mathematicians was called in to analyze the numerical structure of the pulses. That's when everything changed. Hidden within the timing sequence of the signal was an embedded mathematical constant unknown to natural cosmic phenomena: the Lemur prime spiral, a pattern of prime numbers arranged in a spiral that has long puzzled number theorists for its strange resonance with nature. Here, it was repeated exactly in the intervals between the anomaly's distortions. Some scientists speculated this might be a universal language, a sort of mathematical Rosetta Stone, a calling card or, worse, an identifier. If someone or something placed that signature here, it would mean they understood the deepest structures of our reality. What followed deepened the fear even more. When the sequence was mapped in 3 dimensions, it formed a complex helix nearly identical to the double helix of human DNA. Coincidence? Perhaps. But when scientists ran the numbers, they realized the timing intervals and the pulses corresponded to the genetic codons used in our own biology. Something wasn't merely observing us. It understood what it was observing, and perhaps it knew of us long before we even detected it. That's when everything began to fall silent. Public data streams from the James Webb Telescope were suddenly delayed. Access logs from research observatories started disappearing. And key scientists involved in studying the anomaly began stepping down from their positions. Press releases from the agencies shifted in tone, from enthusiastic and transparent to vague, evasive, and bureaucratic. Insiders leaked that several international space agencies, including the European Space Agency, NASA, and private companies like Blue Origin and SpaceX, were convening emergency meetings. Not because the object posed an immediate danger, but because no one could confirm it wasn't already here. Speculation grew rapidly. Was this some kind of probe? A sentinel? A warning beacon? The timing of its discovery was chilling in itself. It appeared only after we had developed the technology to detect it, meaning it either had been there all along or waited until we were ready. But perhaps the most unsettling fact was this: deep space probes launched decades ago, like Voyager and New Horizons, passed near this area without registering any anomaly. This implies the object is either cloaked from conventional instruments or it simply wasn't there before. Music? As always, the final act arrived quietly. On the 48th day of focused observation with Webb, just before the telescope was set to switch to another sector, the anomaly's signature vanished. No pulses, no distortions, only static. Yet before the silence fully settled, Webb sensors captured one last image, an infrared composite unlike anything seen before. It wasn't a shadow or distortion, it was a symmetrical, angular, perfectly proportioned shape, resembling a sigil suspended in space. It appeared for just 3 frames, too brief for a complete decoding, but artificial intelligence analysis confirmed the structure was deliberate. Geometric, made up of nested triangles, circles, and lines forming a recursive pattern. And then, it disappeared. Since then, nothing has reappeared. But the data remains. The silence remains. And perhaps most terrifyingly, the possibility lingers that whatever it was, whatever is out there, never left. It simply stopped allowing us to see it. So, what did James Webb truly witness out there? A silent observer in the cosmic darkness? A message meant for those advanced, or reckless, enough to notice? Or maybe just a glitch in reality we were never meant to decode? The chilling truth is this: the deeper we peer into the void, the more the void seems to respond. What once appeared as an empty canvas is beginning to resemble a mirror. And perhaps, just perhaps, something on the other side has finally noticed us staring back. This discovery is no longer just about space. It's about what we are not yet ready to comprehend. It's about the possibility that we have initiated a conversation with an intelligence that doesn't use words but geometry, rhythm, and silence. And the most unsettling part? We still don't know if it's trying to communicate, or to warn us. One thing is certain: James Webb didn't merely capture data. It opened a door. And what lies beyond it may rewrite everything we thought we knew, not just about the universe, but about ourselves. If this story made you question what's out there, and what might already be watching us, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more astonishing discoveries, and hit the notification bell so you never miss when the universe breaks its silence again. Because this is no longer science fiction. This is science reacting.